Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Nkanelo Gingirikani with me, Mandla Gingirikani. Welcome, Shaba. Hey, hi, I'm Kela. Don't be cold, guys. Thank you very much for joining me on Nkanelo Gingirikani. Nalakera, because I believe in C Maboko. I believe na could be Maboko. Oh, the reason I've been Maboko, Maku, Vanu, Labambiri. Va endle swilo swa kahle ngopfu hi ku music wa vona wu le ku dumeni sweswiwani ende va tirhe hi matimba swinene. Henny C te kahle album ya leyi nga thoniwa title ivi Cool B xi ta na xona xi ku legendary ni ku vanhu va Xikwembu mi rini na ya swa kahle ngopfu lani a va pili ngopfu guys hi va hoyozela ku va va tirheni. Unfortunately namuntlha hi la ku endla swin'wana swi nga tolovelekanga. Well, van'wana va ta swi tolovelekile. But before ya kule, a lava ku tsundzuxa ku nongonoko lowu wa wu tisiwaka n'wina hi vuseketeri bya R Funerals is the only financial plan that matters. So please do make sure that you join them. They are there. Ka nambara leyi ni nga ta ku nyika yona sweswiwani is also displaying on the screen. It's 064 947 7681. Make sure ku va joyina ku ri loko la ku tisa ku ri ti-funeral plans ta vona ti famba njhani. Va tirha mitirho leyinene ya kahle na mhaka ti-grocery na yiniyini swi tele ti-benefit ta vona loko u tshuka lahlekele hi varhandziwa va wena. So please make sure that you join them. Now that is out the way, I really Cool B na Henny C. I feel like I need a rolling drum, like something like that. Okay, let me cool down because I feel like I'm so excited. The reason I'm so excited is because this past weekend, ani tindhawini to hambanahambana nuhumele kun'wana ma Cool B, he was there, he was performing. And I was like, interesting. It was nice. I enjoyed myself. You know, you can see me dancing there. Guys, I had a lot of fun. Actually, I'm actually enjoying this thing of being in the middle, in the midst of crowds, you know, being part of the audience. It's so nice, guys. There's nothing that can beat that, you know. The experience is just unique. Yeah, there were a lot of music that Cool B was playing there. I enjoyed a lot of songs. I was dancing, you know. We were dancing. Everybody was dancing. It was just something, you know. I actually had fun. Yeah, well done to Cool B for that album. But instead of me coming here and talk about his album only, I just felt like let's, you know, do something different. Blah blah yeah, na Henny C. The reason ni la vulavula hi Cool B na Henny C ka ti-album ta vona letimbirhi letiwani leti nga huma. Cool B a ta ku legendary and then na Henny C a ta lani a ku no title. The reason ni la vulavula hi vanhu lava i mhaka ku ni vone ku it's avoidable ku hi nga vulavuli hi vona. Some will say Mandla Gingirikani hi la compare ti-artists kumbe la ku lwisa ti-artists hi la ku va lwisa and all that. A ni la ku va lwisa. The thing is loko munhu a yingisela music wa Henny C na music wa Cool B i music lowu yelanaka kumbe wa fana. And then van'wana va nga vula va ku Cool B i kopela Henny C kumbe Henny C kopela Cool B. A hi swi tivi ku i mani a nga sungula ku tlanga music wa so. Mara from my point, from my side, loyi ni nga sungula ku n'wi twa a tlanga music wa so hala South Africa. Na swi tiva ku na music wa so hala Mozambique va tele va tlanga music wa so hala kun'wana. Ka level leyi ni vulavulaka hi swona. ANC ni nga sungula ni n'wi twa a yimbelela hi swo sono so then sweswo ku na Cool B and so ni la ku vulavula hi maybe 5 or 6 wa swikhedzakhedzani leswi swi endlaka ku music wa kumbexani Henny C na Cool B va fanele va compare-riwa is because of this number one is vocals marito ya vona yo yimbelela ya yelana and then loko wo yingisela music wa Henny C ta swi twa ku ri loko u tlhe i yingisela na Cool B ti-voice ta kona ta yelana the interesting part i ku loko wo ya i ya va vona live va ri two ne i vona one of them i ta swi realize ku ti-voice ta vona ti hambanile ti hambanile actually ti hambanile Henny C has a more higher pitched voice then Cool B has a more bolder voice on a natural level but leswi swi endlaka sweswiwa hi twa vafana i mhaka ku va tirhisa thekinoloji yo yelana kumbe yo fana ku va va antswisa ti-voice ta vona their voice modulation is the same or almost the same because they're all using auto tune even though when I went to hear Cool B live because I've heard Henny C sing before is the fact that look ingisela Cool B you realize that the voice that he's using on a tape is not the same voice that he would use if there's no auto tune. So his records is more modulated, it's transformed, it's very transformed actually in terms of auto tuning, right? Like most artists do that. I mean, without loko hi nga vulavuli vanhu vo fana Bin Mayengani, Themba Nyathi, Mr. Post Joe Shirimani. I feel like Henny C will fall in that category. Yaku, loko yingisela music wa Henny C, the live version of Henny C's music when he's singing live, it's almost the same. Na leswi swi twalaka ka record. But then if you go to Cool B, the voice is a little different. Maybe because I had an opportunity to watch him perform live, and I heard what when he was singing. Although most of the time when he was performing, he was using a backing track with the mic off. It was just in some few songs na crowd where he turned his mic on. But most of the songs he performed where I was akuri backing track, which sort of denies you an opportunity to really tell how does this guy sound local performer his natural voice. So his natural voice is deeper. I'm talking about Cool B's natural voice is more deeper and it's not as clean as you heard in the records, right? And then Henny C's voice is a little high pitched and it's a little cleaner. Loco Inksela, the live version, Loco I'm better live without the all other things. So the vocals tabona Thailand because of the voice modulations they use in their records. Mara in their live performances, kuna kuhambana, you do hear the little bit of a difference. Another thing I want to say about their voices is because of the fact that loko yingisela music wabo yabo ita swi twa ku ri kuna an influence, especially if you listen to Cool B. Kuna a lot of influence ya mlindo. If you do get yourself time, guys, mi ti nyika nkarhi mi ya yingisela ti-records ta Mlindo, the vocalist. Mi ta swi twa swi vulavulaka swona ku ri mayimbelelelo or sound or the vocal sound or what we're gonna hear loko a kha yimbelela on the records could be swi yelana na swilo leswi Mlindo the vocalist a nga ku swi endleni. I am not sure with regard to Mlindo ku ye i tirhisa auto tune or it's just his natural voice now. Mara, when you go to Henny C, you also do have a bit of Mlindo-ness vocally cut some of the songs, not all of them. But come Lindo from this album I listened to, Legendary, Yina that Mlindo vocal sounding, if I can put it that way. So it's interesting. I just felt to compare their voices and the vocal range and all that. With regard to vocal range, it's interesting because I feel like as much as the Cool B's voice is more deeper, it's like it's bazaga, it's more deeper. And then on the other hand, Hennessy's voice is more high pitched and it sounds like Hennessy has a more higher range in terms of pitching and singing. His pitching and singing is quite higher than what I heard could be because could be Imbelela with a lower voice. Ka vanhu lava va nga endla choral music ku na mayimbelelo man'wani va faneke i ma tirhisa ngopfu loko i yimbelela a sad note or a sad song. Usually ku va ku ri kambe ku na soprano which is more higher, alto he has a lot of alto dominance, yeah, alto kumbe alto ku na alto dominance ngopfu ka ti-vocals that could be, which is quite interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's why I like going and be amongst the midst of these people when they are singing, when they're performing, so that I can come here and talk about things I've witnessed. Like what I've witnessed this week, Lokone Nabona could be a performer. That's what I heard and that's what I saw. More of the things that I saw, I'll tell you along the way as we go with the video. And then the other similarities between Hennessy and Colby is the ad libs. Uh, Colby, she take everything leswi like Hennessy. She go for every song that voice it's like that's what Hennessy does with his Ijalera Kampampu. Ijalera Kampampu, all the all those things. So kuna ku enchenya tananyana la leswi swi vula ku ri music wa vona wu compareka kumbe vuyelana. So now we are left with no choice because va endla music lowu vuyelanaka a wu va lwisa. Xin'wana as a disclaimer i ku ni swi vonile ku ri Hennessy and Cool B, both of them have posted in their social platforms to declare Kore, they really appreciate one another. They have a huge respect for one another. But us as people who are listening to music, we are left with no choice when we hear the sound that is more similar to each other. Swi fana na loko maybe I shouldn't use the other artist because swi nga ta leha mara swilo swa vona vanhu lavambirhi swa yelana. So we are left with no choice but to compare them. And there's nothing wrong with comparison because it doesn't mean people are fighting. When you compare point A and point B, doesn't mean they have to fight. We're just noticing things that are similar to each other, and we have to say it. Unfortunately, we have to say it. We have to say it. We have to say it. So that's what I noticed about ad libbing or maritunyana lava va ma tirhisaka as ku seketela ti-lyrics ta vona loko va kha va yimbelela swilo leswi va swi vulavulelaka loko va kha va yimbelela n'wana na n'wana na xitaxana mara they all doing the same thing loko sungula nsimu ku na ku vulavula all the song leswi endlaku Hennessy ni leswi endlaku Cool B. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Xin'wana ni nga xi vona i ku besides swa okay, maybe let me mention it, their looks hinkwavo na ma-dreads, even though ma-dreads ya Hennessy, if I can bring Hennessy here, where is Hennessy? Let me bring Hennessy here. You can see Kurika Hennessy. My dress lama mo lukeleriwa. Matko ngari lama mo lukeleriwa. I'm actually not really sure about this hairstyle. The drop what is the pin leta to white. Leta tinga ka my dress lama ngari mo thumeleriwa my dress lama kahle kahle. I feel like it's a little bit too much. If I was a fashion police, someone talk about Tsonga entertainers and fashion, maybe we need a YouTuber who can do that actually. Someone who can discuss these things with the swa ti-what swa fashion ku swi famba njhani. Loko u languta ma-dress ma Cool B ma tikomba ku ri lama ma natural, hi lama a nga ma endla. He just did them. Na mina I have the same kind of locks. If you would look at me, if you look at me, these locks are natural. Hi leti ti nga na Cool B ti-locks letiwani. Letiya ta Henny C ti komba nga ri hi leto to phumeleriwa to rhungeleriwa loko a famba a ya ku phefomeni loko a vuya a susa. Mara a hi tona to fana ta mapele to ndlhukiwa ta wiki. It's not the same, which is very interesting. So I just thought, without trying to influence anything to say, hey, Jani, it's good, man. We compare these guys, and then he will have like one. Can I also talk about their sound? Their sound. I spoke about their vocals. Like now, I want to talk about their sound. Sound they are two. Cool B and Henny C. Yayelana, man. Like sound they are records ta bona. Let's talk about Henny C, for example. There's a bit of a difference, but Shailang. Henny C, lexi ni nga ta vula hi sound ya yena leyi endlaku ku ri probably yi fikayisaka loko i yingisela sound ya Cool B. Beside the fact, okay, a ni swi tivi ku ri Henny C i tirha va mani vo tala ka sound ya yena, mara sound ya Henny C loko i yingisela on an engineering point of view, sound ya Henny C yi twala yi saka loko i compare na ya Cool B. Ya Cool B sound yi na that thing ya bass ya koho yi le henhla, hayi ku ya rhasa mara yi le henhla in the sense that loko u yi tlangisa yi huma yi ri clean bass, a wu yi mbambeli bass ya kona. Ni vula ku yingisela swipikareni swa straight, a wu yi mbambeli bass ya Cool B. And then mara bass ni vula ku the bass note, maybe I should do an example of this. Let me show what I mean. Hopefully I can find something here. Which album? This is Henny C. Okay, let me play one song from this guy and you will see. Let me play you my favorite song album. This is my favorite. So my favorite song, let me try to Buswan. Pay attention to the bass, the gong 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 gong. Listen to that. Okay? Loko ri swi leri ka ribali a hi kona twa tsaka man, twa tsaka twa tiphina swinene. No, it's swi leri nga na bass. Eka xona music wa yena hinkwawo wu na bass ya kona yi tlakukile, and swi twala hi nga ri album leyiwani kahlekahle ya Legendary yi rhangeriwe ngopfu hi sound ya bass, like the bass guitar. Or even though they're not playing the real bass guitar here, they're actually using a keyboard or piano. Keyboard, yeah, to play the sound of the bass. The bass voicing, it's more audible. It's distinct. Dictionary on you out there, as compared to bass ya Henny C. Let's go and hear something from Henny C. Even though this album is not my favorite, but I'll play a song that I really, really like. Let's play this one. They get go because I can't play the whole song, but bass are gonna be lighter compared to your Cool B. So yeah, that's what I've discovered. Bass ya music wa vanhu lavambirhi yi hambanile. Leyin'wana yi more dominant, ya Cool B is more dominant, in ya Henny C is more lighter. But then interestingly, got the album, got music wa Cool B, the bass is the one that is playing with the vocals. Like bass yi hlabelela na vocals na mayimbelelo ya yena, in the sense that bass yi va ya twala, is dominant as compared to ka Henny C. And another difference, Henny C has this thing, man, of denying this kind of instrument. Let me show you this instrument. It's called It's called a hi-hat. This is a hi-hat the drums. Ne? Look, in hi-hat is very, very important in music. And Henny C doesn't use a lot of it. Actually, Sim Totalangota Henny C, the Fumala hi-hat. That that sound is very, very important. And could be has taken advantage of using a lot of hi-hats. I mean, if you go back to, I always like giving example about music of Papa Penny because that music, engineering wise, sound wise, it was well engineered, it's well produced. That album, even the other albums, Taba Yogo Yogo, Naba Remote. The sound, their hi hat, it's there. It's like it's I personally feel like from my own point of view, I feel like you cannot make music and not have a hi-hat. As much as Hennessy likes to use a kick, too much of go, he likes to play a lot with the kick and some other cymbals, got the drums there. Mara, loko shitaka hi-hat, why it's all na Hennessy. And I feel like, song beat tada ti album ta yena to tala ti tsoniwa hi-hat and swi endla ku ri swi twala hi nga ri risimu ri dry kumbe a ri pfuleki wa swi twisisa because hi-hat yi pfuna ku va yi hoxa a different kind of dimension ka risimu ra munhu kumbe ka any kind of a song. When you have a hi-hat in a song, it adds a lot of spice in a song. You cannot not have a hi-hat. So please, please, please watch the hi-hat, Hennessy. Please watch the hi-hat. I'd like to have a lot of your music with the hi-hat. Um, those are the things that I feel like could be took advantage of. They're using a lot of hi-hat, and it's so nicely. It's nice. It's done well. It's actually done well. If you go back to Hennessy, kuna someone Hennessy angari enter na no Monte Roger. It's called Mavavani. This is a producer Kangalas, ne. That song, I was like, this is what Hennessy should be doing because the hi-hat is audible. It's there. It's not on your face, but you can hear the hi-hat. We need a lot of the hi-hat, guys. So that song, in terms of hi-hat usage, 100%, got that song Yamababan. Look what it's like swi endla ku swi at a dimension yo karhi ka risimu ene swi endla ku risimu ri nandziha swilo leswiya. So please let's use the hi-hat, guys. Sorry about that. And then kuna sound in terms of overall volume, loko languta production, engineering wise. Loko wo tlanga risimu album ya Hennessy, volume ya wena yi ka mid, swi endla kuma ku yi bela hansi. Ku tlanga ra Colbisi kuma ku swi radio rasa. Not to say is anything bad. I don't know why it's done like that, but something needs to be done in terms of engineering, guys. And I feel like Kulbis album in terms of engineering, it's done proper. You don't even need to increase your bass to hear the buzz. But then look with Taka Hennessy, you need to change in terms of bass. You have to increase a bit, push it up, to enjoy the sound, which is the I don't know who's behind all the production time. If he's doing it himself or Odawa Labang Funaku, but I feel like they need to actually work on that. That could be maybe advantage yako is because itile na vanhu vo tala va Prince Rangani gang mga track album liya. No, I just give Prince Rangani as an example because track as trouble ne. Mara in terms of engineering, it's good, man. It's proper. It's proper. I'd like to hear a lot of that. So that's a difference laying up on. Unfortunately, we have to compare the two. Mingan die, guys. Please, Mingan die. Look, you can film me die Kali because unfortunately I have to talk about this because these guys find that music Woyelan. I'm not saying they are fighting. They cannot fight. I feel like the worst thing that can happen is for them to beef each other. They must not even think of beefing each other. I wouldn't want to see them beefing each other, But I just want to say, shikahle kuba hitwa. because pop music lawa wu endla ku Henny C vanhu va wu rhandza man. It's good loko ku ta munhu un'wana a fika a endla similar things. Um, I can also mention timhaka ta swa ti-YouTube. Vanhu vo tala va sungula ku vona swilo leswi hi mina ne, mara then ku te van'wana va endla similar content, which is good. It brings a lot of different dimension in the art commentary or art analysis or music analysis, if they call themselves that. But I don't think there should be a fight. But I've seen could they appreciate one another, they like each other's music, they post each other, they talk about each other's music, which is good. So they are not fighting. They must not fight. They cannot fight. So it's what I've seen about this music, and that's why I always stress that for me to talk about something, I need to have been there. I mean, I've been there when Henny C is performing. That's why I'll give him in terms of performance wise. Performance wise, live performance, Henny C takes the number. Because I've seen him, he comes with dancers, he engages with the crowd, he he goes wild. Henny C goes wild when he's performing, guys. He always reminds me of I wouldn't say Fela Kuti because that would be too much. I would be putting him up there. Like, it's better I talk about Makadzi and say she reminds me of Lebo Matosa in terms of live stage energy, performance. Hennessy has energy when he's on stage. So, and it's something you can't take away from. I've seen him perform lots of songs. I've been with him on stage performing. I've seen him with his dancers. Wahisa, Hennessy Shavamba looks like a live performance. And then also the fact that this voice is not over transformed. Loko umuntu ayimbelela with an original mic with just to hear him doing the live performance acoustically, washitwa ku hi yena Hennessy lo. A ku na noti leyi pfaku yi kayivela kumbe chakamela kumbe yi saka. Wa twala 100%. That's why Hennessy, I feel like Hennessy has built this brand. And actually, that's my next point, Kure. Brand-wise, Vahambanini as well. Hennessy has built this brand to a more superior level in the sense that Hennessy will always be relevant. Whatever he does, even if he produces an album, yeah, fluke or your flop, Hennessy will always be at the top because for the past 2 years, Hennessy has built 3 years actually, has built his brand. Kuskaka that those songs tabo Birman, what is that song? Romeo, my Juliet. Romeo, you know those songs? From there, look Abuya 2019 he shot the Levels album. Wow, Hennessy was just another thing. And that brings me to another point because with regard to all his live performances and him being the best comparing to Cool B, because Cool B, look at performer, he's more static. I don't know, Kuzlani Angona Kona, he was more static, maybe because it was because of the stage which was small. He didn't have a lot of space to play around with. But I've seen people perform on the same stage where they went wild as well. But with him, we're just standing in one area and just singing. He was not sweating. I mean, he was there on stage for like almost an hour. But and you see sweat, man. After a performance, you will see him dripping with like sweat, like because he was working. So with Cool B, he's more reserved in terms of performance. and I don't feel it works in terms of his live performances. I don't think that works. Um, the crowd love him. People love his songs. They know his songs, but I feel like you need to return the same energy, man. You know, his energy is mostly subdued, which is quite it's quite unfortunate. So yeah, when I said this brings me to my point is the fact that I want to talk about the fact that if you listen to Cool B's album, let me actually go there. Let me go to Cool B. I want to show you something about his album. I want to show you something about Cool B's album, right? Mm, let me play this song. It's like the same thing. Shafana Shileshwa. His songs, all of them, they sound the same. Let me play this one. Sorin Katang. Okay, I'll take it here so that I can. It's the same thing. Shafana Shileshwa. It's the same thing. The only different songs litingaka album leon litata taba litanga tentana Dank Bakokwan. Yeah, if we listen to Dank Bakokwan, you'll see what I mean. This song is mostly Rambani na totale tenga ka album liwa. And the shin saka point lin la kula ula yone liwa. Ya ku resim album ya Cool B. Even those who let me go to Henny C Levels album. You'll see what I mean. Henny C Levels. I want to see the Levels album. Where is it? This one. I feel like Cool B came to this album and structured his album around this sound. Not this man. What did I do? I'll play Pinda Fute from this album here, Henny C Levels. Came out in 2019, I think. Okay, let's. Okay, on here. You see, Cool B came here and actually, I feel, this is my personal point of view. Cool B used this song or these two songs actually. It's this song, Pinda Fute Nalerara Chincha Muranziwo. Similar thing Richita Muranziwo na Pinda Fute tona tenga koma album na Cool B. Loko insela sounds, the sounds. That's why mina nuku ti similar thing ka album ya Cool B itwala onge tafana is because most of them they sound like they were adopted from Chincha Muranziwo na Pinda Fute. Which is very, very interesting. Then someone will say, oh, it makes sense why they sound similar. Why? They're similar. So that is my point. You guys can have your own point. What do you think about the issues I've raised here in this video? I've raised a lot of similarities, differences. I've said it, so you guys, it's up to you to decide what you think. Because yeah, that's all I had. I know this video is a bit long. I mean, I find it blah so this one. Let's talk this is in the lekere mina ni kha ku nomboro ku lo wa ntsha ko n'wina hi vuseketeri bya R Funerals va kumeni ka nomboro leya 064 947 7681 mi va fonela ku mi kota ku kuma ti-quotation ta ku mi va joyina njhani R Funerals loko mi lava ti-funeral plans ku ri va kota ku mi pfuna loko mo tshuka mi lahlekele hi varhandziwa va n'wina ti-price ta vona ti le hansi ende ke ni ma endla service ya kahle ngopfu loko va tshuka va ti rentela service ka n'wina so ya na mina ni tirhisa vona phela ni tirhisa yona R Funerals se na n'wina tirhisani R Funerals ni yi tshembini R Funerals se yi fikile ni khensile va ka hina lekere hi mina ekasdor sikutswerekile nyora amsesintwa tona a hi vulavulela hansi please do subscribe to the channel also like the video and also do share and also hit the notification bell to make sure that whenever we do our videos, you are not left behind. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. Don't be left behind. I want to do something before I leave here. I think I need to do this. Which song should I play on this album? Tell me which song. Which song is your favorite? Mina ntsakela ngopfu sungula nge vandzudze vusiwana guys. Unfortunately. Maka hina na va di vavisile. With that comment maka hina lekere mina how me streamer stream ri kona ka iTunes ri kona ka Google Play all the online stores na nan streamer ka Spotify lawa lekere mina kha eka stores kutshelekile njoro absesi tutora salute mi nga titimen